Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would like to present Exhibits A and B in The People vs. the Insane Woke Cult. Welcome back to Adventurous Publications. I am your host, Zach Pieper. Thank you for being here today. And I would like to talk about this as it is something that I have quite a bit of personal stake in. This article is targeting men and fit men specifically. And if you follow me closely, you are well aware that I can pick up 400 pounds unassisted. So this article is literally coming after people like me specifically. So I would like to thank Brett Cooper of the Daily Wire for making me aware of this. And also I find it very interesting that from 16 hours ago when this video was put together, probably more than that, when they actually pulled this screenshot right here from the tweet, to now, when I'm talking about it, they've changed the title to try to change the angle on the article a little bit. Isn't that curious? Curious indeed. So, what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to sit down to a nice cup of purified aqua poured via the classic long pour. We're going to drink it out of our Papa Crowder mug. And we're going to go through this article line by line and shit all over it. Let's go. Let's start with the title, because this is hilarious. Pandemic fitness trends have gone extreme. Literally. Actually, pandemic sloth trends have gone extreme. Do you have any idea the increase in obesity, heart disease, and sloth behavior that happened over the course of the pandemic? No, you don't, because you're pushing a narrative, you absolute piece of shit. White supremacists' latest scheme to valorize violence and hypermasculinity. A note on violence really quick specifically. Violence is amoral. Violence can be good or bad. If you use violence to mug an unsuspecting victim on the street, that violence is being done in the name of evil. You are an evil person. If you see someone getting mugged, or better yet, if you are a man walking by a dark alley and you look in that dark alley and you see a woman being held against the ground, having not so good things done to her, and you step in and beat the shit out of the guy doing it, that is morally justified violence. Valorize violence. What a stupid... By Cynthia Miller Idris, MSNBC columnist. All right, Cynthia, let's see what other absolutely moronic takes you have for me. It appears the far right has taken advantage of pandemic at-home fitness trends to expand its decade-plus radicalization of physical mixed martial arts, MMA, and combat sports spaces. It's more than a decade. Right-leaning beliefs, conservative-style beliefs, even before America existed, the principles of self-reliance and self-governance and being responsible to yourself, those around you, and society, and holding God at a high place in your value system and holding country at a high place in your value system. All of these things have ran in tandem with physical fitness since the dawn of civilization. Doubt me? Look no further than the Spartans. Earlier this month, researchers reported that a network of fascist fitness chat groups Yeah, they're definitely lifting, staring at portraits of Mussolini, talking about how they want to nationalize the arms production. Bro, we gotta nationalize the production of squat racks, bro. There's never enough squat racks at the gym, bro. There's never enough squat racks at the gym. Chat groups on the encrypted platform Telegram are recruiting and radicalizing young men with neo-Nazi and white supremacist extremist ideologies. Absurd on its face. Just absolutely absurd on its face. Again, fitness culture, fitness-minded people that enjoy cooperating and converging in the fitness space, they work together. They enjoy camaraderie. If you go into a gym, any gym in America, at any time, you will see at least two guys of different skin color working out together. Any gym, any time of day. At least one pair of dudes who are different race working out with each other. Why? Because guys who care about fitness and culture don't give a fuck about skin color. Do another set, bro. Absolutely moronic. Initially lured with health tips and strategies for positive physical changes, new recruits are later invited to closed chat groups where far-right content is shared. Brett Cooper made a really good point about this. What? You mean people join one chat group for this thing, and then they meet other people who they like and enjoy talking with, and they join other chat groups to hear what other people who are like-minded in this group have to say in this other group? Crazy! You mean humans are socializing? You mean they're making friends? You mean they're fucking human? Crazy! Physical fitness has always been central to the far right. Now this, I feel that Brett Cooper didn't go into this, and I feel the need to address it. All central to the far right. In Mein Kampf, Hitler was a left-wing socialist. Inherently, socialism is on the left. If you doubt me, if you want to question that assertion, come over here to, I think that's Tick History. Hitler's Socialism, Evidence is Overwhelming. This is the second video this guy has done demonstrating that Hitler was absolutely on the left. Radical left. He did a video absolutely destroying the idea that fascism is on the right. Fascism is on the far left. Hitler fixated on boxing and jiu-jitsu, believing that they could help him create an army of millions whose aggressive spirit and impeccably trained bodies, combined with fanatical love of the fatherland, would do more for the German nation than any mediocre tactical weapons training. What? You mean he thought that teaching his soldiers martial arts would be good for his soldiers? Crazy. In more modern times, far-right groups have launched mixed martial arts and boxing in Ukraine, Canada, and France, among other places, focused on training far-right nationalists in violent hand-to-hand combat. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. And street fighting techniques. It's caught the attention of intelligence authorities, especially in Europe, where various reports have noted the role of combat sports and MMA in radicalizing and promoting far-right violence. There they go, gaslighting us again. There they go, strawmanning and projecting again. When was the last time you saw a far-right group in the street of any major nation violently demonstrating, violently rioting. When was the last time that actually happened? And don't say January 6th. Don't you say that shit to me. Saw that coming a mile away. Because January 6th was a psyop. There were government instigators in that crowd. There were Antifa instigators in that crowd. Nancy Pelosi specifically told the National Guard to step down and not come into D.C. The police force in D.C. was told to stand down. They literally moved barricades out of the way. January 6th was a psyop. The whole thing was choreographed and staged. And if you think otherwise, you're still asleep. A series of collaborative efforts between governments, nations, sports, associations, and local gyms in places such as Germany, Poland, and the United Kingdom have introduced intervention and prevention programs. The U.S. is comparatively far behind, which will only become more and more problematic. So hang on, it's problematic that we're far behind the far-right extremism? This person isn't very good at writing. Especially since the phenomenon is growing in the country, building on the established Fight Club culture of MMA far-right extremists. MMA far-right extremists. Do you mean like Joe Rogan? I definitely feel like this person is like pointing at Joe Rogan without saying his name. And it's like, Joe Rogan is a pothead socialist. Like, yeah, he's in favor of truth and objective thinking and critical thinking, but that doesn't make him far right. I know you've come to associate the far right with people who tell the truth because your entire ideology relies on people being completely brainwashed and subservient to the utter lies that create the entire foundation of your cult. But I got news for you. Not everyone who disagrees with you is far right. Not sorry at all. Not even a little bit. The leader of Maryland Skinhead Group, for example, once ran a gym to recruit and train white supremacists in mixed martial arts. 4 members or associates of the racist, violent Rise Above movement, never even heard of them. They couldn't have been that big of a deal. The self-described premier MMA club of the alt-right pled guilty to conspiracy to riot after the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. An online propagandist for that now-defunct group was spotted among protesters January 6th last year when members... see? That sounds like a government-paid operative to me. When members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front marched in Washington, D.C. December 2021, they were accompanied by a new media outlet created by Ram's founder, blah, 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 to create a network of far-right MMA active clubs. Oh no! The men! They're working out! The intersection of extremism and fitness leans into a shared obsession with male body training, masculinity, testosterone, strength, and competition. You mean all the things that make men men. That's what this whole article is about, ladies and gentlemen. But especially you, gentlemen. In case you were unaware, in case it had somehow gone over your head, this article is yet one more example of how the left absolutely hates you if you have testicles. All the men on the left doesn't like you because you toe the party line. They tolerate you. To you, you are still a symbol of everything they despise because you were born male. And no matter how much you hate yourself, no matter how much you flagellate yourself, and no matter how much you prostrate yourself at the false idol of the woke cult, they will still hate you. It will never be enough. To all the men who haven't been brainwashed into the woke cult, This and all the other bullshit like it is your wake-up call. You have got to start doing everything you can to stand up and fight this shit. Go to the gym is a great start. Just be physically fit. That, in and of itself, is a rebellion against this crap right here. Just go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. 2, if that's all you can make it. Do a total body workout, 90 minutes of full body workout twice a week. And you will be actively rebelling against this crap. Fighters are... Physical fitness, especially in combat sports, appeals to the far right for many reasons. Fighters are trained to accept significant physical pain, to be warriors, like that's a bad thing, and to embrace messaging around solidarity, heroism, and brotherhood. Again, the very next collection of sentences. Solidarity, heroism, and brotherhood. And it's being framed like that's a bad thing. Yeah, men want to be heroes. Men want to engage in brotherhood. You never see an MSNBC article that talks about the dangers of sisterhood and how sisterhood is a far-right gateway to being a neo-Nazi. They're always attacking the fundamental building blocks of manhood, of masculinity, of what it means to be a real man. And guess what? Having solidarity with your fellow man, united in a common goal, a just, moral common goal, that's part of being a man. Having the ability to be heroic, to step into the line of fire, to get someone else out, that's part of being a man. Having the willingness to engage with your brothers in competition, to compete, to see who's the best, to test yourself, to see what you're capable of, it's part of being a man. They hate you. If you have balls, if you have a Y chromosome, they hate you. It's championed as a tool to help fight the coming race war and the street battles that will precede. You mean like the BLM Antifa riots of 2020? Recruits are engaged to link individual moral virtues such as willpower, decisiveness, and courage with desired collective traits such as virility and manliness. Oh God! They're reproducing! Lord have mercy! This also works in reverse, with white supremacists encouraging potential recruits or activists to stay in good physical shape as a way of managing self-presentation to the public. What? They want you to maintain some level of physical fitness so that you have a respectable public image? The nerve! Those far-right, fascist, bigot, homophobic, transphobic Nazis! The neo-Nazi blogger Andrew Anglin advised his followers that fat people should be required to commit to losing weight if they are to stay involved with groups or in-person gatherings, noting that continued obesity should not be tolerated. Well, I don't know if he's actually a neo-Nazi or not, but he's right about that. Continuing obesity shouldn't be tolerated. Do you have any idea the cost to the taxpayer obesity causes every single year? You want to talk about entitlements and wasteful government spending? How about the amount that gets spent by the government in subsidized healthcare every year, keeping fat people alive because they can't put down the cheeseburger and pick up a dumbbell? How about the less thought of costs like increased maintenance to roads because you have 4 people who all weigh 400 pounds driving along in their SUV that's praying for the sweet release of death? The other stresses they put on public utilities. God knows what they do to their toilets and the sewer system. Obesity is hard on society. Obesity is a sign of a decaying society. It's excess. It's sloth. It's gluttony. It is all the worst things about humanity. Well, I wouldn't say all. I'm not sure how wrath fits into obesity, unless you hate yourself. So, eating yourself to death is your way of executing wrath upon yourself, which, I mean, that would be some deep, deep pathology. Lord knows how that would get woven up, but I can imagine it exists in at least a few people. If I can imagine it, it exists. With recruits now moving from physical gyms to chat rooms, live stream fights, tournaments, festivals, and even combat sports video games. Oh man, the combat sports video games that they've had forever. Combat sports. You mean like literally every video game ever? Literally. You could argue Portal is a combat sports video game. We're seeing extremist fighting culture being combined with an entertainment culture that already valorizes violence and hypermasculinity. Oh yeah, man. Transformers, Sam Witwicky, man, we're just glorifying hypermasculinity left and right, man. We're just really going all in. Man, Edward from Twilight, he's really pushing the 9 to 5 gym grind, bro. It's so crazy to me. These people are fighting a war they've already won. At least temporarily. I won't say they've won the war. They've won the battle. The pendulum's starting to swing the other way. So stuff like this is going to get even more belligerent in the coming years, because I truly believe that the pendulum has started to swing the other way. But this is just so insane to me. Like, valorizes violence and hypermasculinity. Hypermasculinity is a good thing. It really is. Now, certainly, there's pitfalls to hypermasculinity. There's tendencies and behaviors that must be curtailed and managed when you're talking about hypermasculinity. Aggression must learn to be controlled and managed. Lust must be controlled and managed. Anger must be controlled and managed. But none of those things, in the proper amounts, directed in the proper ways, are inherently bad. Lusting for your wife, who you're married to, is a wonderful thing. Wrath towards evil people is a wonderful thing. Fitness, of course, is a staple and a hobby for many people, for whom it is enjoyable and rewarding for brain health and overall well-being. Physical fitness channels dopamine, adrenaline, and serotonin in ways that literally feel good. No shit! Oh no, they're working out and their body is rewarding them for taking care of themselves. The humanity! Intertwining those feelings with hateful and dehumanizing ideas while promoting the concept that physical warriors are needed to create, God, this person really sucks at writing, are needed to create the strength and dominance to defend one's people from a perceived enemy, makes for a dangerous and powerful cocktail of radicalization. A perceived enemy? Ukraine literally has a Nazi regimen. There's a war with Russia going on right now. And some reports from the ground say Russia's winning. China wants us dead. North Korea wants us dead. Several of the Islamic states want us dead. There is no perceived enemy. There's a very real global threat to the Western man. There is a very legitimate reason to want to be physically ready to address a physical threat. And any pretending or or gaslighting to the contrary is evil, because you're trying to render people defenseless. You're trying to make it so that when someone is faced with a situation where physical power is needed, they don't have it and they get hurt, or someone else gets hurt, or they die. That makes you, Cynthia Miller Idris, evil, because you are advocating for preventable suffering. For those of us working to find better pathways to reach at-risk youth, understanding the ways that far-right groups recruit and socialize youth in ways that go well beyond rhetoric and ideas, it's crucial. For those of us working to find better pathways to reach at-risk youth, understanding... Okay. God, that is a word salad. And it's just full of propaganda. It's critical that leaders, including parents, physical trainers, gym owners, coaches, and others in the fitness world, understand how online grooming... They're like, we're tired of the conservatives calling people on our side of the fence groomers. We're taking that word back. Groomer is our word now. We're going to use it to describe young boys being told they should work out and learn basic martial arts. They're grooming the young boys into a healthy lifestyle. Oh, God, we have to stop them. Oh, God. God have mercy on your soul, Cynthia Miller. And recruitment can... how online grooming and recruitment can intersect with spaces that we generally think of as promoting health and well-being. The realm of online fitness now provides a new and ever-expanding market for reaching and radicalizing young men, and it requires our targeted focus and resources to try and stop the cycle. Cynthia, you guys have been desperately trying to neuter men at every possible level for decades now. Glyphosate, microplastics, soy in literally every goddamn thing, telling us to eat the bugs, telling us that everything about being a masculine is wrong or reprehensible. It's not working because men are stronger than you. Men are stronger than your ideology. The real men of this world are stronger than the demon that calling itself woke that has formed your little cult. And yes, I do mean that literally. I do indeed mean a literal biblical demon masquerading under the name woke, forming its little cult, which is what the modern left is. It's the cult of a demon called woke. And you are never, ever gonna successfully beat down men. Especially men like me who are serving God's will. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to once again just do a little soapbox stand here and highlight how pathetic all of this is. How evil all of this is. Again, I'd like to thank Brett Cooper for making me aware of this, and I'd like to thank her for bringing attention to it, but she didn't fully hit the mark in that she did not go in depth enough talking about the concerted attack on masculinity by these people. She nudged to it, she pointed it right at it, but you really need to lay it out bare sometimes, especially when you see shit like this. The left hates men. Men build and maintain the world. It is the spirit of man to push forward, to build, to create. Without men, the world, as we know it, will fall apart. Without competent, sane, strong men, this world will fall apart around us. And we're already seeing the results of that. crumbling infrastructure, fields that can't find men. In some cities, you call a plumber, you have to wait half a week because no plumbing company in that city has enough staff. The past 2 or 3 presidents have been talking about crumbling infrastructure. All over the world, there's issues with keeping the power on, keeping dams in shape. Pollution is everywhere because there aren't enough men with enough balls to go out and clean it up. This world needs strong men. And shit like this article, people like Cynthia Miller are pushing the world ever closer towards the cliff of total destruction. Because they've been brainwashed into thinking that man bad. That masculine equals bad. When you see shit like this, laugh at it. Show it to your friends, laugh at it together. Alright guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you being here. Share this video around, it really does help a lot. Drop a comment and a like. Go support us on Rumble. It's only a matter of time until YouTube nukes me. I appreciate you and all the help you can give me. Stay free, Godspeed, and welcome to the adventure.